Hey grade fives, welcome to Monday's writing lesson. What your first task today is going to be is to watch the video that's going to play very soon, and then you're going to watch it very closely. You're probably going to need to watch it one, two, maybe three times, because after that you're going to be defining these language features and then provide an example of this list that I'm highlighting here. Little hint, the video explains what a lot of these language features are. Plus, we should already know a lot of them because we've just covered them in our last descriptive writing.
Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility.
Wordsworth!
Yes?
Thanks for the intro. We'll take it from here.
What's going on?
What's poetry? Here's what I found. It's when you're written and spitting words for the meaning and sound. Poems, they pack an emotional punch, whether a haiku, a sonnet, or a limerick for fun. Some poetry has a super strict form, but it could be formless and be a super slick poem. A poem written in verse, you'll find most have meter and many have rhyme. What's prose? It's the opposite of poetry, straightforward, like a newspaper story. See, prose has rules to be grammatical, but with poems, rules go more sabbatical. You can do whatever you dream, cool runnings, and drop capitals like E.E. Cummings, and break grammatical rules with abandon. Tell Keats and Yeats you're coming for the canon.
Poetry, picking words for the sound and the meaning. When they're written, everyone will gather round. Poetry, kicking over what's literal and getting figurative with any low syllable. Poetry, picking words for the sound and the meaning. When they're written, everyone will gather round. Poetry, kicking over what's literal and getting figurative with any low syllable.
Also figurative language, the choice is yours. And like umpires, now you know the score. Figurative language goes beyond literal meaning, using similes and metaphors and even appealing to the five senses. That's imagery. Now let's compare prose to some poetry.
Fog appeared in the harbor and city.
That's some pretty simple prose. You get me? Paul Sandburg's poem has figures of speech.
The fog comes on, little cat feet.
That's a metaphor about the paws of a kitty who
Sits looking over the harbor and city.
Now, fog doesn't really look, cause it's not alive, but the poet got creative. He personified. Sandberg's expressive language shines. So read and write poems, it'll blow your mind. Let's do
Poetry, picking words for the sound and the meaning. When they're written, everyone will gather round. Poetry, kicking over what's literal and getting figurative with any low syllable. Poetry, picking words for the sound and the meaning. When they're written, everyone will gather round. Poetry, kicking over what's literal and getting figurative with any low syllable.
Poets often use a sound device, like rhyming with some words sound alike. You can use a rhyme in a rhyme scheme. That's a pattern of rhymes at the end of each line. See, it could be A B A B or A A B B or many others, do you see? But you don't have to rhyme in your composition. You can write in free verse. See what I did there? Alliteration is another sound device. Just repeat first consonants. That'll sound nice, like rise up for you, the flag is flown. Some alliteration from Walt Whitman. And lastly, let's hit up onomatopoeia when the sound of a word gets the clue about its meaning. Rumble and rattle sound like echoes from a yell. Like it rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell.
Poetry, picking words for the sound and the meaning. When they're written, everyone will gather round. Poetry, kicking over what's literal and getting figurative with any low syllable. Poetry, picking words for the sound and the meaning. When they're written, everyone will gather round. Poetry, kicking over what's literal and getting figurative with any low syllable.
Impressive. It occurs to me, your rap songs could be considered poetry. Striking resemblances. Well, with that, I must bid you adieu and return to the netherworld.